Okay, so it is April 21st, 2025. Okay, so I just want to explain what happened last night. Uh, so I was really freaked out the way they were knocking on the door. Okay, and I wasn't sure what was going on. So the Richfield police were just wondering where my friend went because apparently he hasn't been in contact with his sisters. So what happened here, I've talked about this before, is that I ended up coming over and staying with a friend of mine who I've known for ever since I was a teenager. I knew his family and everything. And so what happened is that he was the main caregiver for his mother. And and then he got injured. He got he slipped on the fall on the ice or whatever, and he's got this herniation, and so it was making it really hard for him to be a caregiver for his mom. So then I came over and I was helping him, and so he could take care of his mom. And then his mom recently passed. Okay, so he hadn't been able to leave the house because he was the main caregiver not only for his mother but his father as well before he passed. So he so recently he had to go take care of some things himself. He has property somewhere elsewhere, and so and I didn't know he doesn't have a cell phone. So apparently he hadn't been in contact with his family, with his sisters. So apparently they did a welfare check, and and I really haven't and I don't know exactly what is going on with him and stuff. I know he hadn't been able to leave and check on different things for many years being a caregiver. So I really didn't know what the situation was, but just the way that they approached the situation is if I was somehow doing something wrong here is what I got upset about. But anyway, what happened is I ended up letting them in. I called the Richfield police and I said, I don't really know what's going on here. Why are they knocking so violently on the door? I have permission to be here. I'm a caregiver for my friend. Okay, so I had this guy, he's got a herniation, a bulge disc, it says here, we got the paperwork here. It's a bulge disc, in certain vertebrae. Okay, it's a herniation basically. And he's he's still trying to figure out if he's going to be able to get surgery for this, and right now he's wearing a brace around his back, and he had to go take care of different things that he needed to do, and so at the moment he was gone, and then apparently his sisters thought that maybe since they didn't heard from him, apparently they thought that something had happened to him. No, he emailed me. He keeps me in the loop in email, but I don't know exactly. He hasn't told me exactly what's going on there. So I was just kind of an innocent party being harassed, and I didn't appreciate it. And so I showed them this thing, and that he's got to take all these anti-inflammatories at the moment because of his condition until he, and I said, literally it's so bad that he can barely walk. That's how bad the injury is until he gets either surgery and he's wanting to, he's not sure if he wants to do the surgery, because a lot of people don't have good results from that back surgeries. So he's just basically like wearing a brace and different things like that. So anyway, so I ended up letting them in, and I said, and so they said, well, just let him in because they just need to do a welfare check to make sure he's either not there, or if he's there, if he's, hurt or something. And so I had to let them in, and that's what we did. And I showed him the paperwork here, and that's all I know right now. And so this whole thing is kind of in a situation where it's like considered probate or whatever, where the whole thing takes a while. And so he's in limbo. So he lived here 60 years. Half of the stuff here is his. It takes a while for families to figure out all this type of thing. And so he, you know, and he can't really live on his own right now. That's how injured he is. So it's a situation where I just got put in the middle of this situation where I'm trying to help him, and then, you know, I'm just here at the moment, and I'm not doing anything wrong. So I really didn't appreciate the way that they were approaching me. But then I let them in, and then they just, you know, did their thing, and then they just let me go. And so that's kind of what happened there. So, you know, it's like basically what we're dealing with is that I think, you know, the main issue here that I'm having with the police is that they feel that I'm being disrespectful in my videos to them for some of the things that maybe I've said in the past. I have PTSD, okay? I've been majorly traumatized, and the police have been part of my trauma. And so I get upset when I have to deal with the police because they've caused me so much trauma in the past. But I don't mean to disrespect your badge. I don't mean to disrespect you in any way. I know, and hopefully you're aware now, that there's a program called, that I got put on as a whistleblower, called a targeted individual program, where the orders for you to pull me over came down. We know this now, that the orders came down from the CIA, and they sent them orders to the FBI, and then you got the orders to pull me over. And the whole thing was an illegal situation against me. So, but I don't know who all the people were involved. I don't have your names or anything like that. So I don't know what you think I could, you know, why you think I'm such a threat or whatever. You know, I just know, they you know, they think I'm, you know, maybe I made statements that upset them or whatever, but you have to understand that these orders that came down were illegal, were completely illegal. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And so you had no right to pull me over. So that's why I get upset, is that the way you approach the situation without knowing the full situation. So, but I do apologize. And maybe, you know, the whole thing, we came off on a really wrong foot here with the police, because I know there's some good police, and I know there's, you know, not all of them are bad. I mean, I want to believe that, you know, and I think that, you know, so I don't know, maybe, and so I thought I would just say, well, I mean, hopefully there are some good police, and hopefully they're willing to do the right thing, but they have to realize that this is a program that I illegally got put on. That's why I was pulled over so many times. And so I don't appreciate it. And so, and then I honestly think that, like with the last video that I did, when we were talking about the storms, I think they thought that I actually created those storms. I mean, they don't really understand that, you know, this is like a God thing. You know, I didn't, I didn't do anything to create any storms. You know, So I honestly think that they were looking for equipment or something of some kind. That's what it seemed like to me too, is that they just wanted to say, okay, how did all these storms happen? Well, I wasn't involved, so I don't know what you're thinking, but I had no involvement in the storms. Okay, so this is God. I mean, this is God cleaning house. I mean, I'm not. So I honestly think that they thought that I was somehow in some kind of relation to some kind of program or something that could have caused these storms. It's just like, I really don't know what they were thinking, but that's kind of how it came across because of that last video that I did. So anyway, so I wanted to explain that I'm fine. And, you know, this is kind of how, and then they were fine, and they, you know, once they walked through the house and realized that, okay, there was nothing going on here. So that's kind of what happened there. I hope that maybe we can just move forward with more respect and understanding. I don't wish any harm against you. I don't know who was involved in this whole situation. I mean, I have some situations that I'm trying to get still cleared up. And I told them, I said, and they said, well, you still have some situations in different states. And I said, I know, I'm trying to get them cleared up. I sent the video footage, like in South Dakota, I sent the video footage of that accident to the Attorney General of exactly what happened, and that I wasn't disorderly at all. And so what more do I have to do when I've got the documentation right on my phone and I sent it in, but they won't drop the charge? I wasn't disorderly. I have the whole thing on video. Like, as soon as the sheriff got there and I was just the scene of an accident, as soon as the sheriff got there, I left. I have the whole thing on video. And so you need to drop the charge, the disorderly charge. I wasn't disorderly. I was there with a whole group of people and we were waiting for the police to come, and then I left when the police came. So you can't be doing false charges on people. What do you expect? We're not going to respect you, and we're going to be mad because you're trying to falsely charge us? And they said, well, you need to address it in court. Okay, well, our courts are corrupt. And then they're going to, and then the other thing that the courts do is they never dismiss anything. They'll try to force you to take a smaller charge. They'll never just it's like an act of God to get them to dismiss anything, even though you show all the evidence. They want you to plead guilty to a smaller charge. So that's why that I haven't wanted to address it with the courts. So like in South Dakota, I mean, like, what more do I have to prove? And the same thing in Idaho. It's like, I got pulled over there. Literally, I had no warrant in Idaho at all. The guy completely made up a charge. He was, he got some kind of phone call saying there was a warrant in Idaho. I had literally been there like 3 months. I was just working temp jobs. The sheriff in South Dakota had completely made up that my warrant, that I have a warrant, and he thinks that this minor disorderly, which is a misdemeanor, was supposed to somehow get me arrested in a different state. These are not even criminal things. These are civil violations. And so I get really upset that they don't understand all the things, and they don't seem to know the laws and things like that. I've talked to, this is my life you're dealing with. You can't just be doing this to people's and upsetting and uprooting our lives for all of your false information. But I don't mean to disrespect you. And I understand you put your life on the line, and I understand, and all that stuff like that. And I'm sorry if I have been disrespectful or made disrespectful comments, but I have been just brutally harassed by this program. So I don't know who the people were involved exactly in all the program. I've done these videos before, where I've said I have the charts where I know that my name was put through the CIA as a whistleblower. I got put on this targeted program, and then it went down to the FBI, and then the FBI disseminated information down to the police. But I don't have your names or anything like that. I have like just a few things, like 3 things that I'm trying to get cleared off my record. And of course I have the names of the officers involved there, but I don't know of any other particular people. I don't know of any other particular people involved in the whole program. So maybe you should, maybe that'll, help relieve some of your stress or tension or whatever that you have against me, because I don't really know who's all involved in this program. I just know that I was put on a list that went like even above your head, even the police heads. Came up from the CIA, then down to the FBI, and then was disseminated down to the police. So hopefully that'll clear things up with the police, because it seems like there's like just this massive miscommunication and misunderstanding between me and them. And I feel totally disrespected by them. They feel disrespected by me. So I just said, I said, I'll try to be nicer and be more respectful, but I would appreciate if you could do the same, So anyway, that's kind of what happened last night. And so I just wanted to give an update on that.